Hello, my name is Meerah and I am a Lorekeeper in one of the ASUS libraries, and today I wanted to talk about the fire entities Cthugha and Fthaggua from the Lovecraft Mythos. Thank you to this amazing commenter for the idea for this video. He hung motionless in a black, forbidding sky, and at first thought he was suspended somewhere in the intrasolar depths, much closer to the sun than on Earth. But then he realized that the dully gleaming orb which floated before his dreaming vision was not the sun. Ugly dark blotches modded the dull orange surface, and great columns of spinning flame arced around the rim. He watched the titan sunspots drift slowly across the hideous disk, at times growing larger and merging into great gaping chasms in the fiery atmosphere, while at others dwindling almost to nothingness. Something was stirring deep within that fiery atmosphere, something monstrous that roared in insatiable anger against the chains of the elder gods which had bound it there for an eternity. Unable to resist, utterly powerless to control his movements, he was diving headlong towards that ravening chaos, that age-old intelligence which was Cthugha. Cthugha first appeared in the short stories The House on Kerwin Street in 1943 and The Dweller in Darkness in 1944, both written by August Derleth. Cthugha has also been known as the Living Flame and the Burning One, and it is classified as a Great Old One. The entity takes the form of a giant fireball and is served by the flame creatures. Then there appeared thousands of tiny points of light, not only on and among the trees, but on the earth itself, on the lodge, and on the car standing before it. For still a further moment we were rooted to the spot. And then it was borne in upon us that the myriad points of light were living entities of flame. For wherever they touched, fire sprang up, seeing which, Lard rushed into the lodge for such of our things as he could carry forth, before the Holocaust made it impossible for us to escape Rick's Lake. The flame creatures are also known as the minions of Cthugha, and are described as alien creatures made of living flame. Cthugha is known as one of the Great Old Ones that actively opposes the Elder Gods. Many writers in the mythos have contributed to the story of Cthugha, some sealing it away in the small star Corvas, some inventing cults that worship the fiery Great Old One. Fthaggua first appeared in Doland Wandrei's short story The Fire Vampires, written in 1933. It has also been called the Lord of Cthugha and the King Regent of the Fire Vampires. Fthaggua is classified as a Lesser Old One and is described as a massive ball of blue flames. It is suspected to have some sort of connection to the Great Old One Cthugha, possibly serving them or existing as an avatar of them. Considering their similarities, it's highly possible that they could be one and the same. The fire vampires are similar to the flame creations in appearance, though they are described as being living extensions of Fthaggua itself, whereas the flame creatures are described as servants of Cthugha. Fthaggua and the fire vampires are also known for feeding on the life essence of living creatures, including their very memories, hence why they are called vampires. Fthaggua and the fire vampires traverse space on their blue comet, Cthugha, which Fthaggua can control much like a spaceship. Unlike Cthugha, Fthaggua was supposedly killed by a human scientist named Gustav Norby in year 2339 to stop the entity from subjugating Earth. Much like every other entity in the Lovecraft mythos, there are few details to be found about either entity. I for one consider myself to fall into the camp of people who believe that Fthaggua is probably an avatar of Cthugha, as they are just too similar to not be connected somehow. While Fthaggua did come first chronologically speaking as far as appearing in the mythos by a decade, it's possible Derleth took inspiration and built Cthugha from that idea. Either way, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and listening to me ramble, and I hope to see you next time here in the library.